Oh, is that Doctor Who on the telly again?
Yeah, it is! And it's on the podcast as well.
Ah, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to Doctor Who Time and Space!
I'm Daddy Cool.
And I'm the great Mr. Lewis Moon.
Welcome to this afternoon's show.
Welcome.
So, what do we have in store for the people today?
Our main article is we're going to be reviewing the 9th episode of the 8th series of the amazing Doctor Who Flatline, and also in that we'll be talking about stuff for opinions, and also we'll be chatting a bit about maybe our final chat about who we think Missy is, because it might be tonight.
Because we're drawing towards the end now, aren't we?
Yeah. What's tonight's episode?
Tonight's called, I've forgotten already, In the Forest of the Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're previewing that today as well. Chatting about what we think's going to happen.
Just choking myself. We'll also have the news.
Yeah.
Not just any news, obviously. Doctor Who news.
Yeah. We'll probably have best invasions.
Ooh.
Or most surprising invasions, maybe.
Okay.
The cubes.
Yeah, a cube invasion.
Cubes.
And we'll also be talking a little bit about what's been going on, or what's going on the Mr. Lewis Moon website.
A bus?
And maybe, if we've got time, maybe even a quiz or question.
Yeah, maybe. But we've got a big action-packed show, because we're in the Forest of the Night.
We have indeed.
This is the Forest of the Night.
Right, what's up first?
Up first is the amazing part of the show, which we like to call Opinion. Now, what sort of things do we do in Opinion?
We usually have a little bit of a general chat around what the episode was about. We have a look at see whether we think there's any things that lead on to the story arc. We talk a little bit about our favourite bit, what we thought of the baddies. We talk a little bit about how the Doctor and Clara were in it, and we talk about the opening sequences usually.
Yeah. So, what was it about then?
Okay, well, Flatliners. Well,
Flatline.
Flatline.
You keep calling it Flatline.
It's because the reason I keep calling it Flatliners is because there was an old, I think it was probably a 90s film starring Kiefer Sutherland called Flatliners. And I keep getting rolled up with the name. But I always get everything wrong anyway, you know that by now.
Yeah. It was in the first podcast you kept getting confused with everything. But we still have the nice outcome here.
Yeah, I am very professional, me. Very professional.
So what was it about?
What was it about? It's a really hard one to explain, actually, because
we watched it together again.
Basically, strange things are going on in Bristol.
Yes.
And people were disappearing.
In the walls.
Into the walls, yeah. And basically they've been sucked into the walls. And I think what's effectively happening is, if I've understood it correctly, which probably means it's something completely different, but I think the alien species, so we never really find out who or what they are.
The boneless, they're called.
Okay, so we don't know what they're called or anything, the boneless. And they've basically been sucking people into their dimension, I think, in order to learn what we're like and prepare themselves to be able to sort of have a physical form, which is what we see a bit later on when they are no longer 2D and become 3D objects.
Yeah, and they're the boneless.
They're the boneless ones. I mean, the really interesting thing about this one is the TARDIS is shrunk. It becomes a little mini TARDIS.
What did you think of that?
Well, it's hilarious, isn't it? There's something really funny about Peter Capaldi's big head sticking through the door of a really small TARDIS, and his hands poking out to hand Clara various objects. But I mean, the key part of the story on this one was that the Doctor, as he's stuck in the very small TARDIS, which is definitely bigger on the inside than it is the outside. He has to sort of teach Clara to do doctory type things, So in many ways, it's Clara who this episode, isn't it? And she basically she does quite a good job, really. Doesn't
she does. She's like the Clara Louie.
She is, and yes, it is some great stuff. Basically, there's also a Banksy type artist who's
Rixie,
who's doing some community service, and a very grumpy guy in charge of the little troop called Benton. Yeah, he was. Yeah, really grumpy, wasn't
he? Yeah.
A very funny train driver as well.
We liked him. Yeah. So first of all, going on to that, what did we think of the cast?
The cast. I thought they were right.
Yeah.
I thought they were okay.
I like the train driver.
Yeah, he was my favourite as well.
He was my favourite.
I'm hoping personally they do a spin-off series of him.
We always think of strange spin-off series that they could do with characters.
What was his name? Do we know the bus driver?
I can't remember.
No, we want the bus driver. The series. The bus driver. No, it was train driver, wasn't he? The train driver adventures. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Because he could be brilliant.
Yeah, and
he
tries to
battles the 2D enemy.
The flatliners.
The flatliners. Yeah, the train driver versus the flatliners. That sounds like the American football team.
Or the boneless.
Boneless. So he was a funny character, and I thought Fenton was really good as a grumpy bloke.
Yeah, I thought Rixie was good as well.
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
I mean, I don't think none of the characters were as strong as, say,
Frank Skinner's Perkins.
No, but I think that they were all just there really to help the plot along. I don't think they weren't really
like this series. A lot of the characters were quite major.
So I thought they were good.
What's been your favourite guest star that's been in it
so far in this series?
I've liked all of them really.
Yeah, I think that's my favourite was the woman assistant that was in Into the Dalek.
What, Jenny Blue?
Yeah.
I quite liked Captain Nunfick in Kill the Moon, and I liked Perkins as well.
Yeah. It's been some good ones, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, let's take it from the top. What did you make of the opening sequence?
The opening sequence, trying to think what. Oh yeah, that one. It started off really good, basically with the man saying he knew who did it.
The beardy man.
Yeah, the beardy man, the gingery beard man.
Yeah.
And he gets sucked into the walls. It's quite cool how.
What was really good about that as well was there was the sequence where Clara was inside the room with what's his name, Rigsby, wasn't it? Rigsby, sorry. And they were looking around, and on the walls there was what from first glance looked like a sort of orangey landscape picture. I thought it was like a load of trees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then you found out it was actually the central nervous system of the policewoman that had actually been sucked into
PC Forest.
Yeah.
I know the names of everyone. I look it up.
Yeah. So
and I hear it.
So that was really good. I thought that was a real. Ooh, so it is. In fact, after it finished, I had to. Once you'd gone home, I actually loaded it back up again, and I watched that scene again because I wanted to see whether or not that was always the body or whether it was just changed at one point. And it was a body all along, but it's just the way that it's like an optical illusion on the eyes.
Yeah.
What did you think of the boneless?
The boneless, the bad guys. I thought they were really cool. They're quite creepy. They just shake along.
Do you know what they reminded me of?
What?
They reminded me of you wouldn't really know too much about this, being a bit younger, but they reminded me of the zombies in Silent Hill, because they sort of the way they walked and everything with a real sort of limp and stutter. Obviously, I mean, the really cool thing about the bonus was that they were sort of flashing between these alien creatures and whatever it was that they'd sucked into the walls.
I liked them. They were very, very cool.
Yeah,
They kept moving.
yeah.
And they're very great villains. We've had some really cool villains this series, and these add to the cooler.
Most definitely, yeah.
We have had some cool villains this series.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, the great thing about it is that they were completely original as well, weren't they? Because for the first half of the story, they could only appear in 2D, so they were trying desperately to suck people into the walls or whatever. There was a really great scene, wasn't there, when I'm so rubbish at names. Clara's boyfriend. Danny, yeah.
Pink.
Yeah. So I'm the world's worst podcast host. I forget. So here we are on this week's podcast about what are we on about this week? What?
The winner of the most forgetful podcast hoster is Danny Cook! We have him.
So there was the great scene where Danny Pink phones up Clara whilst she's desperately trying to stay off the floors to avoid the boneless, and it just made a really funny conversation. Particularly as you got Rigsy shouting out all the time as well in the background, and you can hear Danny going, "Who's that? Who's with you?"
What was your favourite scene?
Favourite scene? I think I'll tell you what. Whether it's my favourite scene, the one that I think most people have written about in the various blogs and comments, was the great scene where the Doctor's hand pokes out the TARDIS in a sort of like the monsters sort of way, and is dragging the TARDIS up to the train lines.
I wouldn't say that was my favourite.
No,
scene.
it probably wasn't mine either. But
I liked the scene when they were trapped in the room.
Yeah.
Rigsy and Clara.
I think my favourite scene was probably when Clara had her ingenious idea about painting the door. I really like that, and then blasting it, and then the TARDIS, once it gets powered again, flies around the train tunnel.
As a few people say, my favourite scene might be the Missy thing.
Oh, we'll come on to that in a minute.
Yeah, we'll come on to that in a minute.
Be
patient.
Yes.
It's the bit you've been waiting for, but be patient for that bit.
There was a really great bit before that as well, it sort of led into it, where having solved a lot of the problems, because I mean it was Clara's brainwave that effectively saved the day here, because it was her that managed to get the TARDIS to repower up. If it hadn't been for that idea, who knows what would have happened. But after, she's really proud of herself, and she's sort of like, "I did it, hooray!" And the Doctor is basically, "Yes, you did it. So what?" He's very much, it's innocent people died sort of thing. And she's there sort of saying, "I was a doctor, hooray! I did doctor-y type things." And he's basically saying, "Well, yeah, you did, but you didn't do them good enough because people still die, as they do when I do them." And I think it's just all of this argument that's been going around the Doctor's head since the beginning of the series of, am I a good man?
Yeah, you say that every episode in a rubbish Peter Capaldi reaction.
Well, at least I get the right person.
I know!
Am I a good man? How would you do it? How would you say it?
Am I a good man?
Yeah,
it's okay. It's a bit similar to that rubbish as well.
Well, should we get on to that bit?
What? The doom bit. Don't worry, there's no spoilers about it. No synopsis for the final episode. I haven't looked at it yet, just in case it's spoiled.
So, the end sequence, when the screen goes a bit fuzzy and white.
Always. What does that mean?
What does it mean?
Missy comes along.
Or your telly's broken.
Yeah.
Could be that.
Or you're in heaven.
Yeah. In this case, it happens to be that Missy comes along, and perhaps you want to explain a little bit about what happened.
Well, Missy, in a peculiar sort of background, had a picture of Clara on her iPad, and she said, "My Clara, I chose you well." And it was quite a quick sort of scene, but we've got a few theories which we think Missy might be, because this might be our last chance, because we're now thinking that we might find out who Missy is in the Forest of the Night.
But should we talk a little bit about the Missy theories? And as long as we give a little bit of a spoiler warning, so we're going to now talk about who we believe Missy is. So if you don't want to hear that, close your ears now, stick a bit of cheese in there, whatever, and we'll just shout very loudly when we finish so that you can carry on listening. Why don't you explain your theory?
Well, I think she's River Song. Now, it's because at the end of Name the Doctor, River Song, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure she did, because I watched it again and I remember her saying it. She said, to the Doctor, you don't know how me and Clara are linked somehow, but you don't know why yet, or something like that. And so that means she's linked to Clara. So Missy might be River Song, and she might be linked to Clara, because that's how she found the Doctor. Maybe River Song was really the woman in the shop, and Clara got the phone call. So, and then something happened in the timeline thing, which went a bit
askew. I guess we don't know, do we? Maybe we do. We don't know whether Missy's bad, do we?
No.
Missy could be good.
Missy could be a good guy,
yeah. What's the organisation called again?
3W.
3W.
I think that's probably going to be...
We're really good.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be Half-Face, Cybermen, Gretchen, Seb, Missy, and CSO Matthew.
I don't think we're going to see any of them again.
Don't you?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't reckon we will.
Do you think anyone else will be sent to heaven?
Maybe something at the end of the episode tonight, which will lead us to some clearer idea of who it is.
Maybe Clara's sent to Missy instead.
Maybe, yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get onto that in a minute.
Later.
But any other Missy theories? I mean, I read somewhere somebody saying they thought it looked like she was in a Cyberman ship.
Yeah.
And we do know there's a link with the Cybermen, because we know that the Cybermen are in the final story.
And we know that we've seen Missy with the Cybermen and the Doctor. Does that mean she's being taken away from the Cybermen? Does that mean, as I said a few weeks ago, that when CSO Matthew opened the window, he saw something? There's a whole cyber fleet outside heaven surrounding it, so nobody can get out.
Yeah.
So they can make 3W.
Yeah.
I think they'll appear very quickly, the three of them. I think they'll just appear very, very quickly.
One thing's weird though. She's using an iPad.
Yeah.
Why? Why is she using an iPad? Who is she? I mean, one of the things you could sort of suggest, I mean, a lot of the story was that the Doctor was seeing everything through Clara's eyes. So although it was Clara saving the day, the Doctor was able to give a little bit of guidance here and then, because he'd effectively logged into her central nerve system.
There was a theory on one of the YouTube videos we watched that Missy might be a dark side of the Doctor, maybe the Valeyard. We don't know. Or the Master, because of the Mistress theory.
But I mean, what you could say, the very fact that Missy was able to see Clara through the iPad was quite an interesting one, because, well, I was going to say maybe she's also tapped into Clara's.
Maybe she's Danny Pink.
Well, what I was just wondering was that I was going to say maybe she's also tapped into Clara's central nervous system by the fact that she can see it. But of course, she would see things differently, because she wasn't seeing it from Clara's eyes, was she? She was seeing Clara. So maybe she's tapped into the Doctor.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, it's really confusing because we were thinking today, just a little theory on the future and of Missy stuff, that we were thinking maybe. I was thinking this morning that the Zygons might return in Darkwater, Death in Heaven, because Kate Stewart and Osgood are returning.
Yeah.
So we never found out what happened to the Zygon versions.
Yeah, that's true. And Stephen Moffat did say very early on, didn't he, that there was an old enemy returning.
Yeah, I was thinking about that this morning.
Now, maybe he was talking about the Sidemen. It's just everybody knew the Sidemen. The Sidemen were no secret, were they? I mean, it was quite. They were quite open with it when they were filming. Which I guess if you're filming a sequence down at the St Paul's Cathedral, it's difficult to do that in secret, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't believe that the Cybermen are the old enemy that he was talking about, which could again mean, like you say, somebody like the Zygons return to complete the story that we saw with Dare the Doctor.
And maybe they're tracking down Missy or something, who might be Clara. This is going on to a long discussion away from the opinion. But Clara, if she's linked to Clara, how is she linked to Clara?
Well, I mean, she could be one of the Claras that's split off, I guess.
Yeah.
She could be. We don't really know too much about Clara, do we? We know she had we assume she had a human birth, but we don't know that. I mean, maybe she's a Time Lord. Yeah, maybe she is.
Because she's more than a human, really.
Yeah.
She's gone through a lot, and maybe she turned a bit mad or something while she was in the time vortex or something.
Well, we know full stop, don't we, that I mean, the Doctor's had various different personalities, isn't he, whenever he regenerates? So it's not to say that just because she's the flirtatious Clara that she is now, you know, she could regenerate into a big fat old man. Isn't she, really? Oh, by God, I'm Clara! Like that. What do you, I mean, I was thinking a little bit still thinking about the old villains to come back in. I guess the other theory could be that Missy is one of those old villains.
Yeah.
So, like we said earlier on, the Varney or the Master.
Or Morbius, maybe. Even that.
Was Morbius a Time Lord?
Yeah.
Was he? Okay. I don't remember. It's a long time ago and I've not seen it for years.
So who else could you think Missy could be? Any other villains?
Missy theories. I mean, it could just be that it's somebody completely new. I think there'll be some sort of link.
Maybe it could be.
It might not be Missy. The whole Missy being the link thing might actually be there just to put us all off the trail.
Yeah.
Because maybe there's something else that links it.
Yeah.
And it's more around the Nethersphere or something.
Maybe she's sad. Or something.
Yeah. Who is this mysterious Seth? Right. See, that's the thing where there's lots of mysteries that we've yet to unravel. What did you, if looking at the episode overall, assuming you finished thinking around the mystery?
Yeah, I have.
Really?
10 minutes.
What would you vote that line? What would you vote it out of 10?
I'd vote it. I think I'd vote it maybe 8.92 out of 10.
8.92. Come on, you're getting very exact.
Yes,
By the end of the series, you'll be. I think that was 9.4791111111111.
I'm getting more exact every episode.
Yeah. So where does that place? I mean, for what it's worth, I would say about 8.8, something like that. Sorry, 8.8432.
If I had to round it, it'd be 8.9.
Okay. So, where does that place it in the great scheme of things?
That places it, in my opinion, in 5th place.
So, does that mean then, of the two that he wrote,
Yeah.
what's his name again now?
Jamie
Matheson. Of the two that he wrote, which were the last two that we've watched, Mummy on the Orient Express and Flatline. What do you think was best?
I think Flatline was probably. I think Mummy on the Orient Express was the best.
You think that was the best one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. What was that? I think though that may just be that. I think Mummy was a more instantaneous one.
Yeah.
It may be that the other one, the Flatline, is a repeated viewing. I'd imagine the more times you watch it, the more you see with that one.
Yeah.
And that's the cleverer episode, wasn't it?
Yeah. We always watch the clever, scarier ones.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? So make the last episode quite interesting, wouldn't it?
Pardon?
Which will make the last episode quite interesting. So we're going to sit and watch that one together.
Yeah.
So basically, you say it's 5th.
Yeah.
I mean, that's in itself. That's quite amazing. How many stories in are we? 9. Was that
Yeah.
story 9?
Yeah, that's 9.
So that actually means that that's in your bottom half of your favourites from this season.
It's the middle.
Yeah.
The middle. So it shows how good
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Really,
this series is.
it does. I mean, when
People are saying that it was the best episode yet,
yeah,
but I don't agree. Did it come 5th for you, by the way?
I think it did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know my first and second are the other way round than yours, and similarly, I think my 3rd and 4th are the other way round. But yeah, I think it probably is 5th. But I would agree. I personally, and I know opinion is very split on this. I personally think this is, to me, without doubt, the best and most consistent series of Doctor Who we've had since the Second Coming.
I think it's ever.
And it could well be it's ever. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, definitely, and
Yeah.
for most New Who fans.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very difficult to compare New Who and Old Who, just because of the fact that you're watching the old episodes now with a knowledge of modern technology as we have it. So what you've got to remember is that I guess people always mocked the Doctor Who and Blake Seven special effects to a certain extent, but they were pretty good in their time. Things just moved on a lot. So if you could take, say, Twin Dilemma, and
You always make jokes of Twin
Yeah.
Dilemma. I noticed that.
if we could take Twin Dilemma
Oh, by the way,
and
it's
remake it now,
yeah,
what would it be like? That's the thing, and that I think that's
still rubbish.
yeah, probably would. Probably is a bad example.
25 minutes. No, over 25 minutes. This opinion
Has it?
but that's good.
Yeah, it's
That's
good. Like, sure,
So-
we've
so-
got opinions and opinions.
Overall, so should we go through the series so far and rate it?
Okay.
What's
good.
your 9th place?
My 9th place is Robot Sherwood.
Me too.
Still like it, but it's 9th. Sorry, Mark.
My 8th series. My 8th
I know where you're going with this.
8th place is
Yeah.
Into the Dalek.
And mine.
7th is Time Heist.
Yeah. And mine.
6th is Kill the Moon.
And mine.
5th is Flatline.
And mine.
4th is Mummy on the Orient Express.
4th's The Caretaker.
3rd is The Caretaker.
There's The Mummy.
2nd is Listen.
Deep Breath.
1st is Deep Breath.
There's Listen.
Okay.
So they're very similar, aren't they?
Yeah, very similar, but like a bit
Yeah.
confused.
Well, a seamless link here. What do you think? Where do you think In the Forest of the Night's going to be?
I think it might.
Do you have high hopes for it or not?
I do now. I think it's going to become 8.
You think so?
Yeah, now. I've watched a clip, but I
So you
think
think-
it's
So you well,
might see Into the Dalek.
let's think about that then. So if you think it's going to, so you reckon it's going to be not as good as Time Heist, but better than Into the Dalek.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now, at the beginning, I was thinking it's going to come 10th
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking it's going to come 8th.
We shall see.
Or maybe even 7th.
What do we know about it?
We'll talk about. Should we talk about that now?
Yeah, I think it's a
Yeah.
nice seamless link in, haven't we? Because I think we've pretty much talked about everything that we were going to about Flatline.
Yeah.
Flatliners.
So yeah, I thought it was. I think tonight's is going to be a very, very sort of quite nice sort of idea and quite a nice episode.
Yeah. It was interesting to see. We watched that little clip earlier on, didn't we, of Peter Capaldi talking about
Stephen Moffat.
And to be honest, they're not going to say, "Ah, I wouldn't bother watching this one. It's crap." They're never going to say that, are they? But they both seem very excited about it, didn't they? Saying it's a magical episode, very lyrical, very different.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know who's the writer again.
Frank Cottrell Boyd.
So it's another new writer.
Yeah.
You said he's a famous author.
Not a famous one.
I knew nothing.
An author.
He's an author.
An author.
Okay. So
I've never heard of him. Sorry, Frank. But even though they're not listening, I know.
You might. There seems to be. It says at the moment there's a viewer, and it says it's got the word "crying" underneath it. Maybe that's Frank. Oh, sorry, mate.
Sorry.
We don't know you.
Sorry.
But we're excited at finding out about your work.
Yeah. So maybe Missy first stuff.
You think so? Do you think we're going to find out more about that, Lindsay?
I think we might even find out who she is.
Is this another one that's co-written by Stephen Moffat? Or
no.
Not? Okay.
I bet Stephen Moffat would have told Frank Cottrell Boyd.
I mean, what we understand of this one is effectively the Earth, or certainly London,
Trafalgar Square mainly.
Yeah, it gets invaded by trees as such, and not Ents.
Yeah.
But it's more so, I think, it goes back to being how it was years ago.
Yeah.
Where London was effectively a forest.
Yeah.
So there seems to be wild wolves and tigers and things roaming around in it. So it's going to be an interesting one.
Maybe the lions from Trafalgar Square might come to life.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I really don't know what to say about it, because of all the episodes, I mean, there was 2 when I was looking down the original episode list that I didn't find quite as appealing as the others. One of them was The Caretaker.
Yeah.
Which I thought sounded a bit boring.
Yeah.
And the other one was this one tonight. But as we know, The Caretaker was great. So
high hopes.
High hopes, yeah. And it's been such a good series so far. I'm sure it's going to be good. Yeah. What's your thoughts on it?
I think it's going to be a really good episode. As I said, high hopes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be the best, but I don't think it's going to be the worst. If I'm ending up at the end saying this is the worst episode of the series, then I'll be very angry.
Well,
if it's a disappointment, it still won't be a disappointment for the series, because the series is still very good.
Yeah, no, that's right. So, well, should we give some teasers for the episode?
Yeah, let's give some 12 cryptic hints and teasers.
So we always steal these from Doctor Who TV, who we always like going to that website. I mean, that's where we get a lot of our news from.
Opening line: I'm lost. Please, can you help me? Who's afraid of the bad wolf?
Ooh.
We were here before you, and we'll be here after you. Selfies, lots of selfies. Danny's really got the eye of the tiger. Something or someone has coordinated this. Dr. Idiot. This is the world too. I walk your earth and I breathe your air. Annabella's the first. Med or something.
Yeah, that's that. No, what's that? Annabella's the first. Maybe. It's the second. I don't know what that is. It's probably, I don't know, probably showing our ignorance. Probably a biblical reference. Or
No, it's a
something.
name, I think.
Yeah.
It's the name of a character.
Ah, right. Okay.
Because it had him on the her or him on the cast list.
Oh, right. Okay.
A new game has been released called The Doctor and the Dalek.
What's that then?
The BBC has announced The Doctor and the Dalek, a new online game for CBBC audiences voiced by Pete Capaldi.
Oh.
The game sees the newly regenerated 12th Doctor thrown into a dangerous quest with his most devious of enemies in a new standalone story from Doctor and Wizards vs. Aliens TV writer Phil Ford.
Oh. So is this
By the way, a new Wizards vs. Aliens series is coming this Monday on CBBC.
So this game, is it a similar sort of style game to what we had previously, where we had the action adventure type ones, because where we did like the
I don't
Sontarans?
know.
I hope so. They were good.
I think there's like Sidemen and Sontarans in it that you can play.
right. Is it out now?
Yeah.
We'll have to look later. Yeah.
Yeah, it was out on Wednesday.
Okay. Well, that's it. Once we finish doing the podcast, right, that's it for the podcast. Say goodbye. We're off to find that game now. Only
It's
joking.
available on bbc.co.uk/cbbc from Wednesday, the 22nd of October. That's already happened.
Fantastic. We'll be going to check that out later on.
Yeah.
Have we got any other news?
Yeah, we have. I'm just. Okay, so first face-off this week. We've got two face-offs.
Oh, sounds good. I'm just going to be over here a second, so carry on shouting your bits out.
That are coming. I'm meant to read the comments, but I can't. Wait a minute. Oh yeah. Okay, so Mummy on the Orient Express or Flatline. I'm going to say Mummy on the Orient Express. No, not Flatline. Mummy on the Orient Express. Vote. So I'm going to read a few comments. I voted Flatline, but it's not the better episode. It's the episode that has the element which the screenwriters have been lacking as of late. I enjoyed both the Mummy and the Flatline equally, and they are both the best episodes we've had in a while. So they really liked. Someone's just said Flatline. Mummy by a hair. Both were two of the best episodes this season. Up there with Listen, IMO. In my opinion. Okay, come on. Let's see. I did a rating of those two before and gave Mummy 4 out of 5 and Flatline 5 out of 5, so I went with the latter. I absolutely adored it. It was flawless, and I've watched it multiple times since. Fantastic. However, Mummy was brilliant too. 2 brilliant episodes, both 10 out of 10 for me, but I went with Flatline. Flatline, says the next person. It was a really tough choice as these 2 episodes were the best so far, along with Listen. Jamie M should be the next head writer. IMO again.
I mean, he was, I think we might have mentioned last week, a writer for Being Human, which is also a great drama.
Yeah, a few people have commented on the comments that they hope that Jamie Matheson will become the new head writer.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, obviously somebody could be us.
Yeah, it could be because
Joint team.
A great series, and you can watch the theme tune now, and we'll chat about that after the news. It's time to reveal how you voted in Doctor TV's poll last week. Mummy on the Orient Express. As usual, we asked you to give the episode score a score out of 10. 10 out of 10, said most people, and the least amount of people said 2 out of 10.
That seems to be quite consistent, that 2 is the least, isn't it? Because there'll always be the few people that say, nah, 0.
Yeah, there's no answer to 0.
No, or 1. Nah, 1. I hated it.
Yeah. Someone commented 7 of the episodes in the series, at least 7 of the series are 0s.
Yeah.
So far, I disagree by far. None of the episodes ever in Doctor Who's history have I ever rated 0. I even rated Twin Dilemma 6. That's the least.
It's a really odd one because like we said earlier on, the series does seem to have divided people, and that there's a lot of people that are saying it's absolutely fantastic, every story is great, but there are also quite a number of people that don't like it, and there's quite a number that don't like Peter Capaldi as the Doctor. They don't like the darkness of him. Quite a lot of people don't like Clara. They find her too overpowering on the series.
Sorry,
but
I lost my thing.
You need me to do it?
That's all right.
Yeah. But I just really don't know where they're coming from. To me, and it is all about opinions, but I think it's what I said earlier on. Certainly the strongest New Who story.
Yeah.
Series. Sorry. What would you say is the second strongest, incidentally?
What so far in this?
A series. If you were looking at it series by series, if we were saying this is the best series ever, what do you think is the second best series?
What do you think?
I think I can't remember which number it is, but the one with Martha in it.
Series 3.
Yeah.
I think it goes Series 8, Series 3. Wait, no, Series 8, Series 7 Part 1, Series 7 Part 2, Series 3, Series 4, maybe? What have I got?
Also, I mean, the Christopher Eccleston one, although, as I've said on podcasts before, I still don't see Christopher Eccleston's Doctor isn't the Doctor to me because he's just too much of an action hero. But the stories are really good. And there's nothing wrong with the way that he acted the part or anything like that. He did really good, but it's just not how I guess it's probably the same reason that some people don't like Peter Capaldi's Doctor is because the darker side of him isn't how they perceive the Doctor should be.
No.
And therefore they're struggling with it.
So the episode that was on 2 weeks ago, Mummy on the Orient Express, was a well-received episode overall, with a final average score of 8.679. It's therefore beaten Deep Breath to become the new second highest of the series, behind only Listen.
Well, sir.
So Robot of Sherwood is last, Caretaker 7th, Kill the Moon 6th, Time Heist 5th, 4th, Into the Dalek, 3rd, Deep Breath, 2nd, Mummy on the Orient Express, 1st, Listen. How will Flatline fare? Find out next week.
Well, I think it's going to be there or thereabouts.
Deep Breath might even become 4th.
Could do.
On the poll.
Could drop down.
I won't read the synopsis.
Okay. Have we got other news?
There was something I was going to read to you. Sadly, actress Linda Bellingham this week passed away at the age of 66. Bellingham is best known to Whovians for playing the Inquisitor in 1986 Colin Baker serial The Trial of Time Lord. She later reprised the character for Big Finish. Bellingham died age 66 after a battle against cancer.
Oh,
Yeah, sad story.
You like the Trial of the Time Lord, don't you?
Yeah.
Series.
Yeah.
It's your favourite of the Colin Baker
ones,
isn't it?
Definitely The Ultimate Foe, which is the last one.
Yeah.
So is Clara overshadowing the Doctor? Is our poll another poll?
I think it's a good idea for a poll, that, because it does seem to have been a lot of people's complaints when they have moaned about this series. It's tended to be generally that they find Clara's too important in it.
Yeah.
Well, what's your views?
I don't think so.
No, I'd vote no. I mean, she's definitely she's probably got a greater role than any companion has ever had before, I would say. I mean, there was a lot of stories built around Amy, of course.
Yeah.
But I don't think anywhere to the extent that they've built the stories from the last 2 series around Clara.
No.
But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I mean, Doctor Who's quite a unique series, really, in that I think one of the advantages they've got over any other series is the fact that they can literally go anywhere in space and time, which gives you like as much flexibility. You could write a story about anything, couldn't you? And turn it into a Doctor Who story. But even then, you still, and with the regeneration, you get obviously new characters that, even though it's the same person,
and there's new companions,
different takes on the Doctors. And there is, but I mean, at the same point, whilst the Doctor changes significantly with each reincarnation, the companions historically all samey-ish, weren't they? Particularly the really old ones.
Yeah.
I think it was sort of like I don't know, straight out of the companion mold. Whereas what they tried to do with Clara is make her a little bit different, a little bit stronger, a little bit. You know, she could quite easily go off and have adventures on her own, I think, and she'd do all right.
So here are some comments which people are saying. Someone says, hard to say, to be honest, because if someone asked me, do you like Clara? I wouldn't know what to say because I don't have a clear opinion on her character like her predecessors. Someone says, yes, she is given too much attention and impact on the Doctor's life. Series 8 should have been all about the new Doctor and had Clara as the standard asking questions companion. I like her because she's a very different sort of character for a companion, and I don't really like the same sort of characters just being repeated over and over and over and over and over, occurring again.
Well, I mean, on a similar basis, a lot of people moaned that in season 7, part 2, that there was this big build-up to Clara, but her character wasn't allowed to shine through. So it just seems it's really contradictory that people are also saying too much Clara, her character's too evolved and taking over the show. But that's what people wanted last time. People wanted to know more about her. They didn't want her just being this companion out of the same companion mold that we've had historically.
Oh no, she isn't. Don't you think they would have changed the name of the show to Clara Who by now if this was the case? It's all about the Doctor. It always has been. It always will. No companion has ever overshadowed the Doctor. Oh yes, Clara was once a mystery and may have dictated the arcs for half the series. I think, if anything, in Series 8 she had to completely deal with first hand the Doctor becoming a completely new man and entirely different. So yeah, I believe the story arc should never be about the companion because it makes them the centre of attention. The Doctor is then relegated to the stooge in this series and stuff. So that's probably the final news article. But overall, what have you thought with today's polls?
Today's polls, interesting ones. I think that poll in particular is asking the question a lot of people have been asking. I mean, certainly you read through the comments on the various reviews, and people have been either saying, "Oh, I'm loving Clara in this," or probably as many people have been saying, "Less Clara, please."
And probably lots. It's the same with the new Doctor, Peter Capaldi.
Yeah.
Half of people. Well, most people love him. Most people really like him.
Yeah.
Not many people don't like him.
No, that's right. No, there's been a few, and I think, as I said, I think it's really just these people that
some people don't like Matt Smith much.
Exactly. Yeah.
Some people don't. Yeah.
Exactly. That is definitely the case. So, if that brings the news to a close, should we get on to the Mr. Lewis Moon webpage news?
Yeah. So today we were editing a bit on Day the Dark Magic Strikes, our Christmas special.
We've done the voices, haven't we, today? I mean, I'm not sure. We may or may not get time to edit it today. We might end up doing the editing next week. I'm not sure yet.
We released the theme tune.
We have.
You can see that now on the Miss Lewis Moon channel.
Yeah, definitely worth having a look at that. I think it's probably our most professional opening sequence today.
Yeah. There is also we did a competition the other day somewhere, and Hannah Bush is our winner this year of the Right from Miss Lewis Moon competition.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. So which story number is that? Do you know?
4.
4.
She is writing.
So writing's underway, isn't it, on the series? There's a few of the stories already completed.
Writing on series 3, episode 3 is going on at the moment.
So all in all, I think it's promising to be a really good series, actually, don't you?
It's written by Lily Libon, that's all I can tell you.
Okay.
And the story outfits are written by me.
Well, we'll be looking forward for that.
There is one.
If there is one, which there probably will.
Because I like story arcs.
Yeah.
If you've watched the Miss Lewis Moon Adventures, there's been a few story arcs just tinted there and then.
I mean, the other things we need to know about Mr. Lewis Moon webpage is, first of all, do we know when the next story comes out?
What Day of Dark Magic Strike? It starts on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And part 2 is on 27th of December, probably.
Okay.
That's a Saturday, I think.
And then the second question that many people are asking: will we ever get to hear the last part of the Professor Travers adventures? Which, well, maybe we'll be doing that soon, won't we?
Yeah.
We've written it, haven't we? We just haven't got around to recording it because we've been really busy. And a lot of it, I guess, because we've been doing this podcast as well. We were doing Professor Travers and the filming in one day, weren't we? Whereas now we're trying to fit this podcast in as well, which makes it quite difficult time-wise, doesn't it?
We used to do the. We didn't used to have to do the podcast. Now we do, or we have 2 opinions a week or something.
I mean, I guess who knows what will happen once this series is finished. Will this podcast still be every week or not? Who knows?
It probably will.
It probably will, because we like
because
we miss you all.
This is our best moment of the day.
It is.
One of the best.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Well, at the moment, the best moment of the day is the Doctor Who episode. But
well, true. Third best moment would be that lunch that we had earlier.
Yeah. Oh, that was lovely.
Sorry, you can join us for that.
It's like an all-day breakfast. Wrap.
Oh,
lovely.
Yum.
Oh, I just need a drink.
So that probably brings us to the end of that particular item, which was the update on the Mr. Lewis Moon Adventures website, which now takes us on to our next item, which is...
we're going to look at best and most surprising invasions.
Okay.
By the way, quiz or question, let's not do a theme tune later. Let's just hymn the tune.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Okay.
Okay, so best invasions.
The cube one is one of the most memorable. For
There it
me.
is, yeah, because it was different, wasn't it? And to have the main enemies being cubes.
That's the most similar to this one.
How many, if we were to think about Doctor Who episodes with the word invasion in it, how many can you think of?
There's Invasion of Time is the main one, which is a really good one.
The Christmas Invasion.
The Christmas Invasion, of course.
Is there one called Invasion?
The Invasion.
The Invasion. Which Doctor's that? That
Patrick
Troughton.
Troughton, the third one, one of the best classic episodes of Doctor Who.
Yeah. Any more invasions? Because you know what I'm going to ask you in a minute.
What?
What's the best invasion episode?
The Invasion,
Yeah.
probably.
You think so?
I think The Invasion, you can borrow that one from
Yeah.
me.
I've never seen that one. It's not even one that I watched years ago. I've never seen it.
It's a Patrick Troughton one. It's an 8-parter. What I think about the really long ones, 7-parters mainly, because I've watched a few of them, is I think they're a bit slow.
Mhm.
But this one, usually they're like parts 1 to 6 are really slow, and part 7 has all the action in it.
Right.
And you could have used that in some of the other parts.
What about
When the Invasion isn't too slow because it has lots of things throughout it.
War Games was pretty pacey, I thought. About the
Yeah,
slowest
War-
episode, that's probably the last one because it was explaining the issues with the Time Lords. and
It was
stuff like that.
10 parts.
Yeah. Do you know
I
the thing?
forgot
The
about
thing
that
is, when you look at it, Patrick Troughton stories. Why were they longer? Why did they have more parts? In them?
Mm.
Is it because it would be more annoying if you lost a load of episodes because it would mean there'd be more story, or quite a few stories that you wouldn't be able to get the whole parts of because they'd been lost by the BBC. I reckon that could be it. But they're being found. One day they'll all be found.
So, what's your favourite invasion?
My favourite invasion.
Or what favourite
Of
invasion is your?
things. Have they got to be called the invasion, or can it
No,
be?
it can just be an invasion of a planet that's been invaded. The Time War could be an invasion.
The adipose. Well, that's not a good invasion.
Yeah,
Does that count?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most episodes have an invasion in them.
I actually.
The Cyber War could be an invasion for our figure adventures.
It could.
The Hydrocorians invade.
I actually, I wouldn't say it's a favourite, but I actually really like the Christmas invasion, mainly because I think
Yeah.
the Sycorax are really cool.
I know.
I really like them.
It's a really good episode,
Yeah.
actually.
But a number of people, when we were looking at the polls for the best first episodes, they didn't really like that one. Or maybe it's because the Doctor's not that strong in it because he's just regenerated and he's particularly weak, isn't he? But,
Well, there's a poll that usually at Christmas when it's the best Christmas episode.
yeah. Okay. Best invasion. Difficult. Just desperately trying to go through it. It's probably the Zygons.
Oh yeah, of course.
I think I'll go for the Day of the Doctor Zygons.
Yeah.
Effectively, they invaded.
Or you could go for the Translaw invasions.
Yeah.
That'd be quite a good one. But the Zygons, the Zygons are cool as well.
What would be tickled? What would be the monster you'd least like to invade?
What, our planet?
Yeah, like if on the news now the TV suddenly flashed on and said, "Terrifying news: the Earth is being invaded by aliens." Oh my God! It's actually
A Hydrocorian.
Ah.
I wouldn't like them to come. No. They're monsters I've made up, but they're never going to come and haunt me. Never.
What about Doctor Who actual series? Who would be
actual?
who would you least like to invade?
Does it mean most rubbish?
No, as in which would be the
Who
scariest.
would you?
Well, I guess you'd probably be the Vashta Nerada, wouldn't it? In case you had loads of these mangly face people walking around.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, who? I don't know. What would be the creature that would threaten the Earth the most?
Daleks.
Yeah, probably the Daleks. Let's go for them because they have no heart. All the Cybermen, probably one or two of them, isn't it? Yeah.
They're impaled in dark water, the Cybermen. Or Death in Heavens.
Yeah.
Presumably dark water. Maybe it's the end, I don't know.
Well, is that us finished on that sequence?
So, do 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 Quiz or question?
Quiz or question? Welcome to Quiz or Question.
Sorry, we couldn't be bothered to find the theme music.
No, we couldn't.
We didn't have time.
No.
Sorry.
So we apologise for that, but I'm sure you enjoyed our classy rendition of it as well. Okay, you better explain the rules to Quiz or Question.
Quiz question. You send us quizzes, which we need to answer, which is like a quiz about a past Doctor Who. So you want an example? Just give an example. How many episodes of the Sontarans?
Yeah, something like that. Might throw this one away now.
The questions are our opinion on something. Say it's who really is Seb or something.
Yeah.
Throw that away, what too.
The so we shall start off then with the first one, which let's see what we've got now. Okay. We had this week we had an episode which featured Clara effectively becoming the Doctor. Will we ever see a female Doctor Who?
Quiz or
A question, I would say.
Okay.
What do you think? That was very loud and covered me in spit. What do we think?
I think no. I hope not anyway. Because I think the Doctor kind of has to be a man in my world. I don't think it would work sort of that well if you had the female equivalent of the Doctor.
I actually I agree and disagree.
Okay.
I think the series Doctor Who should always have a man Doctor, but I don't see why there couldn't be a spin-off with a female Time Lord. I think that'd be quite feasible.
Who would play your female Doctor if there was one?
Good question. Probably Melissa George.
I liked Hermione Norris to play a female Doctor because she was really. I'd like Frank Skinner maybe to play a Doctor. He would be quite good.
He'd look a bit silly in a dress, wouldn't
I know.
Oh, you mean a male Doctor?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It would be quite interesting to see I've now got this image of Frank Skinner in a dress. So. Hello, everybody. A comedian type Doctor Who would be quite interesting. And I mean, it's happened a little bit, hasn't it? In that Rowan Atkinson played Doctor before for a comic relief special.
Yeah.
But I guess Sylvester McCoy was a fairly comedic character. He used to be in Tiswas years ago when I was a child. I used to watch that. He was often a guest on there, I'm pretty sure, if I remember rightly.
I've got one.
Yeah.
Having a new series of Wizards vs. Aliens coming this week. What has been your favourite story out of all the stories so far?
On Wizards vs. Aliens?
Yeah. Quiz or question?
That's a question. It's asking for an opinion.
Yeah, so this is just advertising the new series.
Okay. Well, we've had 2 series, haven't we, so
Yeah.
far? I
This is the
only saw a
third.
little bit of series 2.
This is the 3rd one coming.
Okay. There was a really funny one, which I think was it in series 2? I think it was the second story in series 2, maybe.
Vice versa one. When they swap.
There was the one with all the little creatures in the shed and everything.
Oh yeah, that was series 1.
That's
Yeah, I
series
like
1,
that
yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's
When
good.
Tom goes around Benny's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a really, really
Yeah.
good one. There was also the really good one when they got sucked into that. They went into the sort of magical
Yeah.
other side.
There's 3 I like. There's the Vice Versa one, Grazlax Attacks, and 13th Floor.
13th Floor. That's the one I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Of. That was the one that led to. I've forgotten what the place is called now, but the magical.
Yeah.
It's where all the fairies live. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the one, and they grow old there, don't they?
Yeah.
Although I felt cheated at the end of that episode because they'd had this child and they'd grown to love this child, and then it was like taken away from them.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a little bit harsh,
I know.
particularly for a children's story. But there we have it. That's,
Okay.
yes.
What's next?
Okay.
There's 2 more, I think.
We've got 2 more questions, have we? Or quizzes, possibly. Depending on which way you look at it, quizzes or questions. So far, we've only had questions, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is better.
What do you prefer? I like questions best, actually, because it means we can debate
Yeah,
them.
I do.
Otherwise, it's like,
I like
the yes or
questions
no.
more.
Yes.
I like questions more.
Yeah. In fact, we should just call this series Questions. And not bother with the quizzes. That's not to discourage people from sending us quizzes, but we do like the questions best. Hint, hint. More questions, please.
Okay.
Okay.
What next?
Okay, it says here, do you ever think that the Doctor will be stranded on Earth again?
What, like unit, like XR?
I guess that's what it's saying.
Okay,
It's talking
quiz or
about-
question, or let's do another sound effect.
That must mean question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What was it?
I'm trying to think. So
Question.
yeah, it's a question. So presumably here we're thinking back to the John Pertwee series, yeah,
Yeah.
when the Doctor was stranded at the end of Patrick Troughton's War Games,
Yeah.
He was-
Exiled.
exiled to the Earth for how many series? Was it just 1 or
2.
2 series?
Wait, and then 3, I think.
Is it as
Then
many
in
as
his
that?
4th one, he got the unexile.
Simple answer. Well, you give your view first of all.
Wait, it might be 3. I'm trying to think. No,
It
4.
doesn't matter. It's not a quiz. It's a question.
I know. I don't think it will, because it kind of limits the stories a
Yeah,
little bit.
I think it. Can I just stop you there?
Yeah.
The next one I've got here is a quiz, and it says, "How many series was the Doctor stranded on Earth?"
Is this the last one?
No, I was joking. about that.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
so you, in terms of going back to the question there, you don't think it'll ever happen again?
No, do you?
No, I agree with you. I think it's particularly now with all the effects and everything like that they've got. I think it is too limiting.
Colony in Space was good, because what happened was the Doctor went in the TARDIS to show Joe, but then the Time Lords flew it away from Earth to save the colonies.
Yeah,
the
right.
colony thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they went to another planet.
And our final one today says,
Do you think there'll ever be again in Day the Dark Magic Stones?
Wow,
No,
who
sorry.
the final one is the Doctor has met many historical characters over his various incarnations. Who is the best historical character that hasn't yet been in Doctor Who that you'd like to see in a future adventure?
Quiz, or question.
I'd say that's a question.
Question. Okay.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Sure.
Done a lot of people.
I tell you what was an interesting one, which was in the game and not in the series. I don't believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was Guy Fawkes.
Yeah.
That was quite interesting. There's quite a good story set around that. The
Gunpowder Plot.
Gunpowder Plot, yeah. In terms of people that haven't been in it before, how about one on at sea with one of the famous explorers, so someone like Christopher Columbus?
Yeah.
Christopher Columbus ever been in one before?
No.
I don't think so.
No. Chris Clum.
King Arthur.
King Arthur, yeah.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
No, actually, I
Wait,
would go for King Arthur.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that it then?
I think that's probably it. Yeah.
Okay. So should we go for next week?
Yeah.
Next week we've got our review on In the Forest of the Night,
Okay.
and we'll be looking at the first part of the amazing series finale,
Ooh.
Dark Water, and the second part is Death in Heaven, but it's
Ooh.
Dark Water we're looking at next week.
Okay. We'll also be picking up on the news.
We'll also be doing a best Sideman episode or best finale or something.
Ooh.
We've got 2 things we can do.
Sounds
for the
good.
next 2 weeks.
And we're talking a little bit about probably giving a few more teasers for the next series of Mr. Lewis Mean.
Yeah, and a quiz, a question, of course.
Cool.
So, In the Forest of the Night is on tonight at 8:20. Only under 3 hours, I believe.
Wowza. Well, enjoy it.
Remember to turn your clock back tonight.
Yeah, that's true. Get an extra night's sleep.
Yeah.
So we're off to probably go and enjoy some dinner soon.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening, including Doctor Who. Good night.
Enjoy it. We'll be back next week. Bye bye. Doctor Who.